So here I found that the pre-existing elasticated loops that came with the car cargo net were perfect to fit over the four legs of the bed. It was as if it was meant to be. So again, I was going to use my trusty cable ties. I actually think I could start a channel called Cable Tie DIY because I use cable ties for basically every DIY project that I do, because I'm not very good at DIY, but cable ties will do most anything. I have made a dog fence using cable ties, star pickets, and some doggy mesh, which is a special kind of fencing because it's smaller at the bottom and bigger at the top, so that small dogs can't get through the bottom. Anyway, back to the subject in hand. I've cable tied all of the net, the cargo net, and now I've gone round and cut all of the ends off along the edges, as you can see. 1, 2, 3, 4. I've lost count, but I'm pointing out all of the cable ties that I put in, and there were quite a few. And then the firmness was far improved, and I knew it would be much more comfortable for Wonky Dog. Next, I am adding some soft foam to make the bed softer. You can see it's about 3 inches thick. This is a piece of foam that I had laying around. Well, it was part of another bed. Usually, if I have foam, I don't throw it away because I try and save it if it comes from a piece of furniture, because it's always handy to have for extra softening up of bedding. So I'm just tucking it in and making sure that it's all equally distributed across the bed. Now, right there, I'm using a pillow, taking a soft, squishy child's pillow and poking that into one end, and that's so that Wonky Dog has one end is slightly higher than the other, so he has an edge that he can nestle into on one side, which he likes to do. Now you can see that it's actually a bit of a tight fit, and I did shove it in, and it was okay, but I thought it was taking up a bit too much space. It was a bit bulky and didn't fit very well, so although it felt nice and soft, I soon came up with another idea, and that was actually, I think, a bit more successful. And the idea was to make the pillow about half the size, so I took the pillow back out and I got the scissors, chopped the end of the pillow open, and began to pull out the stuffing. I didn't keep the stuffing. I threw about half of it away. I perhaps could have kept the stuffing, but I didn't really have anything in mind to use that for. So I disposed of that, and that I just did it till the pillow, as I said, was about half the size that it had been before. And then I thought I'd try it again and see whether that was better from a size perspective. And of course I didn't throw the stuffing away until I'd tried the pillow back in the bed at half the size. So here I'm turning it over without, that's too close, fold the pillow down without the stuffing in. That little throw around manoeuvre comes from back when I used to go with my nan to the high street, and the fruits and veggies would be sold like that in paper bags, and then the men would and the ladies would flip those paper bags over like that to secure whatever you'd bought, whether it was some cherries or some mandarins. Don't really see that much anymore. Anyway, you see it's a really good fit, much better fit. So there's Wonky Dog coming to have a look at the bed. He did a little burp there because very odd because he loves to be on his Hessian raised beds outside, which is effectively just the same. So I invited him on, and he put one foot on, and then off he got, which I thought was quite funny. Now he decides that he's gonna have a little bit more of a sniff and then leave the room, I think. Oh no, he didn't. I think he did, and I think I got the video there, and then he circled back around. So then I put the bed against the wall. I thought perhaps he'd prefer that. And still inspecting it. And then a bit more of a somewhat attempt to see if he might have a little lay on it. He's not sure. And then finally, with lots of encouragement, he did get on the bed, but he does not look happy about it. Now, truth be told, he's now been using this bed for some time. Certainly a couple of months it's been now, and he loves it. It's his nighttime bed and he's very comfortable on it. It keeps the drafts away, it's got lots of insulation underneath, as well as lots of lovely padding. The one thing I might be able to do, I don't think I will do it, that would make it more insulated, is to put some kind of Reflectix silver underneath, but I think it would make it crunchy, which you wouldn't like. I hope you have enjoyed this video, and I'd love to know if you have any dog bed hacks that keep your dogs cozy and comfy through the winter. I'll leave you with a photo of Wonky Dog, very happy and comfy in his bed. We appreciate